Hello and welcome to the Fantasy Football Upside. I am Justin and that is Kyle. Thanks for dropping by our Fantasy Football podcast and YouTube channel. Kyle and I appreciate it. Week 4 is already here, and what we're going to do is give you our second half of the Start Sit questions for Sunday and Monday of the Week 4 of the NFL season. So, Kyle, hit me with what you got.
All right, guys, stick with us this whole season. We want to drag you kicking and screaming to that championship this year. We're going to make sure you get there and then notch that belt, get that win.
Oh, yeah.
So we're moving on here to week 4. Like always, check out our waiver episode, but you can also get not only the waiver episode up above, but you can also get our first half of the start sits for the Sunday and Monday games. You can catch that start sit episode up above there. Also, double check who's been dropped in your waivers. Always keep an eye on that. That's something that could benefit you. And give us any of your start sit questions for this week that you've got. Let's dive headfirst into the shallow end here, Justin. And let's see here. I got to run down here. Okay,
no, we're going to the Colts at the Bears. I'm going to go ahead and hit you with the Colts first.
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers, I'm going to go ahead and sit. Jonathan Taylor is a start for sure. Even against this defense, I'm going to start him up. T.Y. Hilton is a start. Man, talk about some hard luck injuries when it comes to the wide receiver room. So T.Y. is about the only person I'm going to start there. Mo Alley-Cox, you and I both think that he is possibly going to be a start moving forward for possibly the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So he's looking good and just keeps improving. So
I think he's got a connection with Phillip Rivers, and you can't deny that. Like, you can't.
It's hard to deny someone that is like 6'6", 270 pounds and can move like that and has freaking mitts. For hands. They're just insanely big. If you ever see the guy catch a football, the football disappears. It is wicked. It really is.
That's awesome.
It's like Shaq catching the ball.
All right, let's see here. The Bears. The Bears. Well, guys, it happened. It's done. The Trubisky era has ended. We called all summer for that to occur. We said that Foles is the guy that should be the starter there. He will be the starter there this week. They have announced that. They announced it like on Monday or Tuesday. But don't start Nick Foles. Okay, he threw 4 near picks right after he got put in. He just got lucky in that win, honestly. You can start David Montgomery, but I would still stay cautious with that this week. It's not a great start. That's a decent run defense. It's not the greatest, but it is a decent run defense. Tariq Cohen's on the IR, guys, so they are bringing in vets to try out like Lamar Miller and other guys. So
Miller's making the rounds, man.
Yeah,
he's making those tryout rounds.
They already did move from their practice squad a guy who they were high on and they were happy to stash on the practice squad, and that is Artavis Pierce.
Okay.
So that is somebody to keep an eye on if you want a deep stash. If you've got a roster of like 24 or something like that, go down there and grab that guy. Allen Robinson is a start, but you already knew that if you have him. Anthony Miller is also a start this week, but don't expect a huge breakout. He's kind of getting inconsistent attention right now, but maybe Foles will be a little bit better about that. We don't know. That's, I guess, Jimmy Graham. I'm saying start him. I mean, look, if you picked him up, I guess you're starting him. Otherwise, why would you have spent fab money on him? So, yeah, I guess you're going to start Jimmy Market Setter Graham if you got him. That's it. Let's move on here to the Cardinals at the Panthers. I'll take the Cards, Justin. We've got Kyler Murray. He is a start. He's been solid, but this week is going to be a big test for him, actually, I think. The Panthers are pretty decent, actually, against the QB right now. Yeah, it reminds me of the movie Up in the Air, and it's the only funny line, in my opinion, in the whole movie. You've got George Clooney is on the plane, and the stewardess walks up and says, I said stewardess, the flight attendant walks up and says, "Would you like to keep the cancer?" And he's like, "The cancer?" And she says, "The can, sir. Would you like to keep it?" So just kind of reminded me of that. All right.
Hashtag analysis there, folks.
There you go. There's your analysis on fantasy football, right? Kenyon Drake is a start, but he's been barely barely
been a
a
tough one.
running back 2 for most weeks.
Yeah.
But this matchup favors him over the passing game a little bit, guys. So this is probably the week where he's going to do better if he's going to do anything.
Right.
DeAndre Hopkins, future Hall of Famer, DeAndre
There you
Hopkins.
go.
Start unless he's out. He didn't
Well,
practice on Wednesday, and we don't really know what that means because where we are right now is not that day. So we don't know if he's practicing or not, but they did list him as an ankle injury. So it's possible that he gets fired up, but he may not perform very well. Let's see here. Andy Isabella is a start, in my opinion. He's a wide receiver 2 for this team. I think you could fit him into your flex. You could fit him there fairly easily. And if DeAndre Hopkins misses out, this dude is the guy. He's supplanted Kirk as the wide receiver 2, in my opinion, at this point.
He's got the draft pedigree, man.
Yeah, he's fast, dude. He is fast, too. And that is what Cliff Kingsbury wants.
Deceptively fast? Would you say that?
I wouldn't say he's deceptively fast. I'd say he's a little bit of a gym rat.
Big high motor guy.
Yeah, high motor. Just brings all the energy and leadership that you want to the position. Yeah. All right, let's move on. He's got a high IQ for the position, right? Let's move on to the
second coach out there. I'll hit you guys with the Panthers. I'm going to sit Teddy Bridgewater. There's got to be better options on the waiver wire right now. All right. So Christian McCaffrey, of course, got to sit him because he's still in the IR right now, and hopefully he'll be back in a few weeks. Mike Davis, I was a little hesitant last week. I said sit. I was dumb of me. Go ahead and start him up. Throw him into your RB2, or he's a great flex, that's for sure. You're going to start DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson. Man, DJ Moore has been quite the disappointment so far this season. A lot of fanfare coming in this season, and he's just not quite been there yet. So that's what I have for the Panthers.
Yeah, I just want to mention that I saw a video of Robbie Anderson learning that the Panthers logo is referred to as Sir Purr.
Oh, no, the mascot.
The mascot, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
And yeah, that was funny.
I saw that. That was a nice little mic'd up moment.
Yeah,
who's like, that? It's Sir Purr. What?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now we're headed into the afternoon or mid-afternoon game. So this one's at 4:05 Eastern, which is kind of a random one. But we got the Giants, at the LA Rams. Kyle, hit me with the Giants. I'm sure you're going to have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I think you wanted to say Jets there for a second because they've got almost as many starts as the Jets. I don't know. I mean, they
are the Giants worthy of a drop that we have?
Are pretty close to the one, but they're not entirely. Look, we do have a couple starts here. Actually, we've got Darius Slayton as a start, and we do have Evan Ingram as a start. I think you just have to keep going to those guys. Their talent rises above the absolute patheticness that is the remainder of that team, and the coaching staff that will not probably make it to the midpoint of the season. So
tell me how you really feel.
Oh, sure. Let me get to it next time. Who do you have for the Rams as starters?
All right, Jared Goff
is going to win this game.
Yeah, Jared Goff is a start. I mean, we're talking about the Giants D, which is very weak. Running back Darrell Henderson is a start, man. He's taking a hold of this running back room, especially with Cam Akers out with rib injuries.
What McVay is saying right now is that Darrell Henderson is probably the starter. He said he's kind of a slasher, but he still gets, he still also hits everybody. So
fire him up.
Yep.
Fire him up. I mean, I would prefer him in a flex role, but if you've had injuries to Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, this is a great little consolation prize. For wide receivers, you're going to start Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. And then tight end, I guess start Tyler Higbee because you drafted him. That's the only reason. Hopefully you've been able to find someone else on the because Woody had like nothing last week.
Yeah, if you haven't, you should start looking. You really should.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on here. We've got the Bills at the Raiders. Josh Allen's a start.
Yeah.
He's doing really well, guys. Devin Singletary is a start, but flex only. He might get a slight increase if Moss continues to be hampered. But if Moss is back, you got to kind of downgrade Singletary, and you
Oh,
should probably consider starting Zach Moss if he's playing, because he is getting, or was getting, about 45% of the snap share prior to his injury. Stephon Diggs is a start. I kind of don't like the matchup this week, though. I really think that Stephon Diggs is going to have a tough week. You're still going to fire him up because of where you drafted him. You still got to put him in your lineup and hope for the best. John Brown is a sit if he's out. He's missing practice. He was a bust in week 3 because he got injured. It's looking like he's probably or possibly going to miss this game. So if he does, then you're going to start Gabriel Davis, who absolutely blew up in John Brown's absence. And if you've got, if you're in a dynasty league or in your keeper league, Gabriel Davis is a really good stash, actually, because it's likely that they're going to let John Brown walk after this year.
Is he a contract year guy then?
Contract year, and it's looking like they're going to let him walk. They just aren't going to be able to afford it.
Is this is he a rookie or second year? I feel like he's from like UCF or something like that.
Who, John Brown?
No, Gabriel Davis.
Oh, Gabriel Davis is a rookie. He's a rookie.
I'm not
sure where he's
something like that.
Yeah, that sounds about right, but I'm not sure, but he's a rookie.
Okay. You got anybody else on the Bills?
No, that's it.
Alrighty, for the Raiders, gonna go ahead and start Josh Jacobs, but man, this is another tough matchup going against the Bills. Wide receivers, I gotta sit them basically all because you just don't know what it's going to happen, because Henry Ruggs is probably going to be out, Bryan Edwards is probably going to be out, Hunter Renfrow is going to be playing Zay Jones and Nelson Aguilar, but none of those are really screaming anything, of any fantasy relevance. One of them probably will be relevant this week. We just don't know which one.
Yeah, good luck figuring it out.
Darren Waller, boy, he got covered up against the Patriots. So we're looking for a bounce back game out of Darren Waller. And I think they're going to be able to do that against the Bills, which is really good against the run. I think they might be susceptible to some tight ends up the middle here. So up next, we have the Patriots at Kansas City Chiefs. Hit me with the Patriots, Kyle.
All right, start Cam Newton, but expect that the Chiefs are going to probably do to him what they did to Lamar Jackson. Yep. He runs a lot less than Lamar Jackson. He's not as accurate as Lamar Jackson, in my opinion. So this is going to be a tough one for him. They're going to have to pivot away from running him and try to figure out a running back who can get the job done. Now, last week, that was Rex Burkhead. I'm not starting Rex Burkhead. I'm not starting any of these running backs until something more happens to figure out what's going on. I think that you're going to have to watch Damian Harris to see whether or not he starts getting more and more of the carries. He was the dominant back during the training camp. They might be just waiting for him to get back, and they're just going to hand him the reins. I'm not sure what's going to happen.
Or they could turn around and do what he did last year and have him as a healthy scratch because he doesn't contribute on special teams. It is very much wide open. We don't know because
I don't know that they'll do that with him in his second year, though. Especially because, they had Sony Michel in his second year last year, and so they thought that they had something better there than they actually do. I think
they'll probably have 4 running backs active.
I don't know if they'll all be active. I think that they'll actually probably deactivate. They could deactivate James White. It's entirely possible. I think they're going to keep Burkhead for a little while, but he only made the team because Damian Harris was out on the IR.
And he contributes just a little bit on special teams. But you're right. That's about it.
All right, start Julian Edelman. Start N'Keal Harry if you're in a multiple flex league, and that's it. N'Keal Harry is still kind of a question mark in my mind.
Yeah. Absolutely. For the Chiefs, I'm going to go ahead and start Pat Mahomes. Hashtag analysis right there. I know it's a tough one. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I guess the H is silent. The Eclair that we like to call him. He's a start. Tyreek Hill is a start. Sammy Watkins, man. Maybe in the flex, and if you're a desperation wide receiver 3, he's a big boomer bust, and you don't know where it's coming from after Hill, Kelsey, and CEH when it comes to receiving options, because it could be him, it could be Demarcus Robinson, it could be Mecole Hardman. Hell, let's throw Byron Pringle in there as well. Yeah. So it's really a tough one, but if you're desperate, if you have to, throw Sammy Watkins in there. I already mentioned Travis Kelsey. Of course, he is a must start.
I did like what I saw out of Mecole Hardman on their last game against the Ravens there. I did like what I saw. I thought that he was being featured in an appropriate manner for his skill set.
Yeah.
I think they finally figured out how to use him a little bit better.
We just need to see a little more consistency from week to week to see. Let's see what happens this week. If they get that same sort of game plan for him.
Yeah. All right, let's move on here to the Sunday night football game. We've got the Eagles at the 49ers, injured versus injured. Here we go. The Eagles, we've got
the old injured game.
Yeah, let's see here. You're sitting Carson Wentz because you can't trust him. If you've got Carson Wentz, you better start looking for a way out, guys.
Yeah.
Start looking for a QB that you can fire up.
Yep.
Joe Burrow. Go grab Joe Burrow if he's on your waiver wire. Go do that. Grab Minshew if he's on your waiver wire. Those are both guys that could replace Carson Wentz very, very quickly for you. Miles Sanders is a start. Miles Sanders is not. Let's see here. Who else we've got? Deshaun Jackson is a start as a flex only. He's missed practice on Wednesday, so keep an eye on him. Let's see here. We've got Greg Ward. You can start him if Deshaun Jackson misses. This is not a great week to have to start a guy on the Eagles, guys. This is not one you want to make. I bet you can find somebody on the waiver wire who's got a little bit better chance of having points for you. Zach Ertz is a start, but again, tight end against San Francisco is not a good play. So if you've got Zach Ertz, you probably don't have another tight end on your roster. You shouldn't. So you should look at a possible pickup of a tight end here. Just keep an eye out right now. Dallas Goedert got added to short-term IR. Hakeem Butler has been acquired, and he's being converted from wide receiver to tight end, but do not expect much there from him.
Maybe next year.
At least, maybe next year.
Or the year after.
All right, let's go on to the 49ers. Justin, who do you have on the 49ers?
It's a tough one. The QBs, I'm not going to start Garoppolo or Nick Mullins anyways, but Nick Mullins looked pretty good, man. I wonder if that's going to be kind of a controversy here towards the middle of the season.
It could be. I think that Garoppolo is turning into something that they didn't want.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to the running back room, Mostert is most likely going to be out again. He's already missed another practice. He wasn't limited or anything. It was just total missed practice. Jerick McKinnon and Jeff Wilson, fire him up in your flexes. They both had a pretty good value for you. Wide receivers, man, I still got to sit everybody. Brandon Ayuk, he did have a good game, but he's still kind of a gadget player. I mean, he's like Debo kind of, but
who?
Yeah.
Debo! Hey, but by the way, if Debo is on your wire, it's time to start grabbing him. Nice little stash there.
Nice little stash. So, and for tight ends, my guy George Kittle is practicing in full. Yeah, there it is. Fire him up and just enjoy the game.
Yeah, this is going to be a big one back for him.
Yeah. All righty. So Monday Night Football, we have the Falcons at the Packers. I'll do the Falcons. I had a little Panthers there.
They probably a little Panthers. If you talk like that, you might get Cancer. But the Falcons probably don't stand any chance against the Packers either.
No. But for the Atlanta Falcons, I mean, they have a chance because they're actually playing in the game. So we'll give them that. Still going to start Matt Ryan.
Wait. Are they playing 4 quarters this time?
Oh. Yeah, what are they? They're playing about 45 minutes.
I think that the Packers have only been behind the Packers have only been behind like less than 15 minutes total time so far this season. The Falcons have only been behind about the same amount, but it's at the wrong end of the game.
So bad.
It is.
I'm going to start Todd Gurley, but man, Brian Hill kind of came out and did a couple things last week, but that was kind of a breather. And
he did that last year and then disappeared too.
It still looked like he was running through molasses on that play that he scored on touchdown. It was just wide open spaces, and it was just sad to see.
So the Falcons have their own Jamal Williams. Interesting.
Basically. For wide receiver, going to start Julio Jones if he is going to play. Keep an eye on the practices. And it's kind of tough to keep an eye on Julio Jones in practices because he doesn't really practice much. But Friday, I think, is usually a good idea. If he gets any kind of work in, he might be playing. But we're talking Monday Night Football, so it's a tough one. Calvin Ridley, definitely fire him up as a must start. And then Russell Gage, if
it would actually be the Saturday practice because they do shift the week for the Monday game. They don't have to. They don't have to report the practices until a day later because of that.
So definitely check out the Saturday practice. Thank you, Kyle.
Mhm.
Appreciate that. Russell Gage, if Julio was out, start him, but he
Yep.
still has to get cleared because he was out with a head injury. I don't think they actually confirmed his concussion or anything, but keep an eye on his practice schedule. Olamide Zacchaeus?
I have no idea.
Close?
Good
Close?
enough.
Good enough. He played whenever Russell Gage went out, and I mean, if Julio and Gage is out, yeah, it might be a cool little DFS play. But Hayden Hurst is definitely a start when it comes to this game.
Yeah, I think what you have to worry about though is that look, the benefit that you have here is it's going to be a high volume pass offense that's going to be trying to chase the Packers probably.
Yep.
I don't know that. Look, Matt Ryan has not looked good this year.
He looked good the first couple games.
He looked okay, but then he's disappeared. He's getting swallowed up by defenses in the second half.
Yep.
And this is a defense who can handle the passing game. They're built to beat teams who pass more than they run. That's what they're built for. And so this looks like a bit of a trap for starting the Falcons players to some extent.
Falcons are really good in the first half.
Yeah.
And boy, do they not make any kind of adjustments or anything or predict any kind of adjustments.
Todd Gurley gets like 12 carries in the first half and 3 in the second half. And it makes no sense because they've had the lead every time. Yeah. So it makes no sense. All right, let's talk about the Packers here. Let's see here. Aaron Rodgers, I guess you're going to start that guy, right? So offense is starting to look a little bit unstoppable. I'm seeing some videos pop up on YouTube with the pro breakdowns of the offense, why they're doing this, why they're doing that, and they walk to the line. They've got 2 play variants called, and then off of those plays, they can audible into 5 different plays on each one. So they've got 10 plays when they walk to the line. And you give Aaron Rodgers no defensive noise to compete with, and he gets to pick that defense apart. This is his year.
He gets to use that cadence as well to get some people offside, man.
Yeah. All right. Aaron Jones, you're going to start him. He's second right now in rushing TDs in the NFL. So that's pretty solid. You can't deny that. People were looking for that regression from him. I would start Jamal Williams in a multiple flex roster. That's about it, though. I wouldn't start him in any other context. He is definitely taking the back seat here. Devontae Adams, you got to start him if he plays. It's going to be a great matchup, but you got to keep an eye on his status. He could be on a snap count or a decoy even. If he does play, which is problematic. And they've already shown that they can win without him. So I don't know that they are going to actually start him. Start Allen Lazard as a wide receiver 3 or flex, and you can rely on him if Adams is out. Like, I think you can really do that. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, I would only put in the flex and only do that if Adams misses time. I don't think that he's worth much more than that. The tight ends, it's a tough guess whether or not any one of them is going to put up a touchdown for you and get enough yardage in any particular week. But Jay Sternberger is somebody I want to keep an eye on because he is coming on here. It looks like he did get 3 out of 3 targets last week. And they were big gainers, and they were plays designed to feature him. And, Tanyan was featured as well, I think, in the red zone, and it was a play designed to go to him, just like Lazard had a play designed to go just to him. So they are they're spreading the ball around, and they are picking exactly who they want to target. So it kind of depends on who they're getting covered by. That's really what it breaks down to. All right, so that is it for our matchups for week 4. We've gotten through all of them Thursday through Monday. Make sure that you check our other episode out for the other breakdowns of the start and sit stuff for this week. I'll throw that on the screen here, as well as our waiver wire episode, so that you have both of those to go through. And make sure you hit that subscribe button as well as the bell so you're notified every time we upload the best fantasy football podcast on the internet. We will see you guys next time. Thanks for being a fan of the Upside. Bye.
See you guys.